What's up, YouTube? In this video, we're going to be covering the number one most painful mistake to avoid in investing. This is probably the most common regret that a lot of the people that I've helped over the past 7 years that I've worked with have told me they wish this was not the case. They wish they did not make this mistake. So it's something that's really important for you to understand whether you started investing already or not. I want to take some time to really break down this mistake in a lot of detail today so you clearly understand why it's so important to avoid this. Quick intro, if you don't know who I am, my name is Jose Hernandez. I have an online financial education company that serves first-generation wealth builders, people like you and me, people that are first person in their family to invest or start thinking about investing. And my mission is to help you learn how to invest for your goal of financial freedom and or build generational wealth for your family. I got my start in the industry as a financial advisor in the wealth management industry, where I earned my Series 7 and 66 licenses, worked with wealthy individuals, got some of the top mentorship from some of the best financial advisors in the industry, and learned everything I know hands-on that I've been sharing on the internet for years now. So with that being said, let's get into the most painful investing mistake. But before we do that, I want to set the stage for you properly. So this is one of my favorite quotes that I share with clients and students all the time by Albert Einstein. And he said that compound interest is the eighth wonder of the world. He or she who understands it earns it. He or she who doesn't pays it. And that's really deep if you think about it for 1 second, because compound interest is really like the secret when it comes to investing. It's how your wealth is created as an investor. And it's why it makes sense to start to invest and not just leave all your money in some regular savings account in the bank, because of course it's not doing anything for you there. Whereas compound interest, when you hear people saying your money is working for you, that's exactly what they're referring to. And just a quick snapshot of what compound interest looks like, if this is something that's newer to you, this is an example of someone that's starting from scratch and they're investing consistently every single month, and they are taking advantage of the power of compound interest through investing in the stock market. That's one of the easiest and simplest ways that you can accomplish this. And as you can see, just assuming an average rate of return around 10% on an annual basis, which is pretty online with what the market has done over the past 100 years or so, even though this person started from zero, they ended up with over $1.1 million in wealth. And you can see their total contributions in this chart, or the money that they put in over this 30-year time frame, was around $200,000. It wasn't all at once. It was something that they worked towards. But the biggest takeaway here is the 1.15 million that they have in their investments at this point in time, of that, 900,000 plus of it came from compound interest, meaning they put in $200,000 of their own money, and the rest of that growth came from the power of compound interest. So what I'm trying to help you understand here is compound interest is the driver of the wealth that you're trying to build for your goal of financial freedom in the future, building generational wealth, early retirement, whatever your goals are financially. Compound interest is really what helps you get there. So the thing that people don't really understand about compound interest is that time is really your best friend in investing. A lot of people don't take into account the fact that time is one of the things that really speeds up the power of compound interest. And I'm going to show you what I mean by that here in 1 second. And this is going to tie into the mistake that I'm going to be covering in today's video. So this is investing 101, but I want you to understand what the compound interest formula looks like. And this is, pretty simple math. It's not, rocket science or anything like that. But what you'll notice, and I put the arrow here to the variable that is time. So in this equation, time is considered the exponential variable. So if you remember, like Algebra 1, right? The exponential variable is what really makes the biggest impact on the end result, the end number. In this case, the number, of course, being your wealth. So translated in simpler English, this means that the more time that you're working with and the more time that you have compound interest to make your money work for you, the more amount of wealth that you're able to build. But there's a flip side to this that I want you to understand as well, because waiting to start investing can actually literally, and I mean literally, because we're going to look at some numbers here, it can literally cost you hundreds of thousands of dollars. So sitting on the sidelines, just hoarding cash, not taking advantage of the power of compound interest, there is a real hidden cost that a lot of people don't realize that comes with inaction, with procrastination, with not taking action and not investing regularly and getting compound interest to work for you with your money. And that's exactly what the mistake is not making it a priority to start investing and maybe delaying it years, and even just a couple of years, as we'll look at here in 1 second, can literally cost you hundreds of thousands of dollars. So what I want to do is I want to walk through a quick, simple scenario with you to show you how costly it can be to delay your investing. So let's look at that next. Okay, so here we're looking at a compound interest calculator that you can find online, but specifically it's called the cost of waiting to invest calculator. And this really highlights the impact of delaying your investing even by a couple of years. So let's look at just a simple scenario together so you understand what I'm talking about. Let's assume that you're 30 years old, you currently have zero in investments, you're starting from scratch, and in theory, you have the ability to start saving or investing $6,000 per year. Now that $6,000, of course, can be broken up into monthly chunks or weekly chunks. It doesn't have to be all at once, but on average, we are investing the $6,000 per year, which is currently, for example, what you would be doing if you're maxing out something like a Roth IRA. And we're assuming that your plan is to, or your goal is to retire by 60, because that's when you can start tapping into your retirement assets without having to worry about the 10% early withdrawal penalty. Now let's assume that in one scenario, you can start investing right away. You can start investing that full $6,000 per year. And in the other scenario, you decide, you know what, I'm just going to wait 5 years to start. Maybe I feel like it's not a good time. Maybe I'm scared the market's going to go down. Maybe there's some other stuff that you are telling yourself that is a good reason to not start investing. So in scenario 2, we wait 5 years. And in both scenarios, we're going to assume you get the same rate of return in your investments. Again, that 10%, which is in line with what the market has done on average over the past 100 or so years. So when we take a look at the numbers, if we look at the start now scenario, meaning you started investing right away, you didn't procrastinate, you started investing that $6,000 per year. Over this time period, by retirement, you would have built over $1 million in wealth, $1,085,661 to be exact. Now, in the scenario where we decided to wait just 5 years, we're not talking, 30, 40 years. We're just saying 5 years, which in the grand scheme of things isn't the longest period of time. I mean, think about 5 years from today in the past. I mean, for me, that feels like that was yesterday, right? So that's not a long time that can go by without you even realizing it. So in the scenario that you waited 5 years to start investing, instead of the over $1 million in wealth that you were able to build, you only have $649,000 by retirement age, which means the hidden cost of waiting just those 5 years to start investing was actually $436,570. I'm going to say that again. The cost of procrastination of waiting just 5 years in this scenario actually ended up costing you, in terms of wealth, $436,570. But it doesn't stop there, because again, the power of compound interest is real, but it's one of those things like if you don't use it, you lose it, right? That applies certainly to investing as well. So let's play with these numbers some more. Let's say that instead of the 5 years, you decided to wait 10 years. Let's see how that impacts our numbers. So again, in the first scenario, if you started investing right away, you had over the $1 million that you accumulated. But in the scenario where you waited 10 years to start investing, all else being equal, same returns, same amount of money that we're investing, et cetera, you only end up with $378,015 by retirement age, meaning that the cost of waiting to invest, in this case, those 10 years, was over $707,000, pretty close to $750,000 of $1 million that you're leaving on the table. That's a serious number. But I'm not going to stop there, because I want to make this abundantly clear. Let's say that you decide to delay investing by 20 years. So again, in scenario 1, you start investing right away, still end up with that $1 million. In the scenario where you wait 20 years to start investing, you only end up with $105,187, meaning that the hidden cost of waiting to start investing was over $980,000, pretty close to $1 million. So hopefully this paints a very clear picture in your mind as to why it's important to start investing ASAP. And this is a calculator you can check out on your own time if you want. It's called the Cost of Waiting to Invest calculator. You can Google it if you want to, but I wanted to take some time to walk through these numbers with you because it's super important. And this is why so many people in the past have told me it's my number one regret financially that I waited too long to start investing. All right, so now that we've looked at the numbers together, I want to bring this into a conclusion. And often when I have this conversation with people, the first thing they start thinking is, well, it's too late for me. I messed up. I'm never going to make it. I'm 40 now, I'm 45, I'm 50, I'm 55. It's just way too late. And that's not the takeaway that I want you to have from this video. The takeaway that I want you to have from this video is the longer that you wait to start investing, the higher the cost that's associated with it. And truthfully, the harder it can be to play catch up down the road. Does that mean it's impossible? No. I've seen plenty of cases with clients and students over the past, again, 7+ years that I've been doing this, that they got a late start, but they were able to play catch up because they were able to start making this a priority. So if you're watching this video, maybe in your 30s, 40s, 50s, or older, and you haven't started investing, again, the takeaway is not, it's over for me, I'm never going to make it. The takeaway is you literally cannot afford to start to wait to start investing, because enough time has already passed and you've already left enough money on the table, and it's really time to start getting going, especially if you're ultra serious about a very specific goal, whether that's early retirement, financial freedom by a certain age, generational wealth to build for your family. Time is literally of the essence, and the point of this video isn't to scare you, it's not to discourage you, it's to provide you with a genuine sense of urgency and understand why this is so important and why you need to be taking action ASAP. So if you're watching this video and you're feeling a little bit behind, or you're feeling overwhelmed or anxious, and you know investing is important, you know you're ready to start investing, you just don't know how, or maybe you've been investing for some time now and you're not sure if you're doing the right things, if you're on track or not, if you're building enough wealth, if you're going to have enough to reach that goal of financial freedom or build generational wealth, or you have any doubts or questions around investing for your goals in general, the next steps are simple. In the description to this video, you're going to see a link that you can use to schedule a one-on-one call with myself. That's an opportunity for us to sit down, help me understand more about your situation, help me understand more about your goals. That way I can point you in the right direction and make you feel a lot more confident about, excuse me, where you stand currently financially and also where you're heading. So again, the link to that, to schedule the one-on-one with me, is in the description to this video. But that's going to be all for me in this video. I hope this video has been insightful. I hope it's opened your eyes a little bit. I hope it gives you a real sense of urgency to start making moves financially, because you deserve it, your family deserves it, and sometimes it just takes someone to point you in the right direction. So if you found this video helpful, make sure you give it a like, drop a comment down below, subscribe to the channel if you want to see more videos like this and want to get on track with reaching your goals. Again, check out that link in the description to schedule our one-on-one meeting together. But I appreciate you taking the time to watch this video. I hope it helps, and I'll see you in the next one. Thanks.